Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hurricane HQ, and in this video I'll be going over today's potential severe weather and or tornado outbreak, and we currently have some breaking news. And moderate risk is currently in effect for portions of western Iowa, especially northwestern Iowa there, and that does include Sioux City there. So we do have a moderate risk for all hazards, so winds, tornadoes, and hail. We have a moderate risk in effect for there. So we could be seeing a pretty significant event up there in Iowa. So in this video, I'll go over all of the latest maps and data on this possible tornado outbreak, which could be occurring tonight, and the timing on this line and exactly when this line will impact what regions and when. So currently we're taking a look at our severe weather outlook here. You can see we have a moderate risk in effect for this red region right here. There's a moderate risk for severe weather, which means widespread severe thunderstorms are likely in that area. So I'm predicting a line of severe thunderstorms moving through that entire moderate risk area, and even through a lot of this enhanced risk, which is actually in effect for this orange indicated region right here. We have an enhanced risk. So I'd say a line of severe storms will be moving kind of like this, and you could kind of expect a line moving through this general area right here. And then we also have an enhanced risk here in Texas. Austin and Dallas, Texas are included in that enhanced. And right there, that is definitely an area to watch, as there is also the potential for some severe thunderstorms down there. Now, aside from the moderate and enhanced, we also have a pretty large slight risk, which includes Minneapolis, Oklahoma City, Houston, most of Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, portions of Wisconsin and Minnesota there. You're all in a slight risk for severe storms. So severe storms are still possible in those areas. And then we have that marginal risk area, which is the lowest tier for severe thunderstorm potential, at least right there. So we could be seeing some isolated severe thunderstorms in that marginal risk area. Now let's take a look at our tornado outbreak here. Tornado outlook here. You can see we have a lot of colors on the map today. Specifically right here, which is our highest risk. We have a 15% for tornadoes here. It's a 15% chance of a tornado occurring within 25 miles of any point in this 15% area. And also what this map does not show is there's also a significant risk for some tornadoes in this same area here, and that is for not only the 15%, which I just highlighted, but also this 10% area indicated in the yellow. We have a significant risk for tornadoes, which basically means we could be seeing some significant tornadoes, possibly EF2 or stronger within that area. So especially if you're in that 10% to 15% area, you want to remain weather aware, as there is definitely a pretty good chance of a tornado or two in these same areas. Now we also have a 5% chance for tornadoes here in this brown region here, and another one in the deep south. And then that 2% risk area where we could be seeing some rotating thunderstorms and maybe an isolated tornado, but generally the main risk for tornadoes is in these brown and up areas right here. Now as we take a look at our thunderstorm wind outlook here, you can see pretty decent chances for gusty winds. You can see we have a 45% risk here for damaging winds, and that is not only for damaging winds, we also have a significant risk for some damaging wind gusts in these thunderstorms for the highlight area right here. So anywhere in this black circled area right here is where we have the potential for wind gusts over 75 miles per hour. So that is considered damaging to possibly even destructive winds that could be occurring in that region right there. So again, 45% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of any given point in this pink region right here. 30% in this red region, slightly lower, definitely good chances still. And then we have our 15% in the yellow region, which is pretty large. And then that's 5% in that brown region. And we also have a smaller 30% here for Austin and Dallas, Texas there. Another risk for some damaging winds down there. And now let's take a look at our thunderstorm hail outlook here. You can see we have the potential for some significant hail here in this 45% area right there. 45% chance of some significant hail, 2-inch plus in diameter, in not only this pink area here, but basically all the way down to the bottom. I believe it goes more like this. This is kind of where that significant risk for hail is. So despite some of the lower chances, some areas only being in a 15% for hail, there is the potential for those larger hailstones, possibly over 2 inches in some of these areas. I think the greatest chances in the 45% area right here, as that's where hail is more likely, opposed to like the 30% or 15%. But again, you want to stay weather aware and always make sure you take shelter under some kind of overpass or something in the case of hail, as then those could definitely be damaging to cars, and those windows and windshields especially could sustain a lot of damage from large hailstones. And I feel like large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes are all the primary threat today. And yeah, when we see that hail and tornado threat both high, I feel like we could be seeing the potential for a pretty big tornado situation, as well as if we are seeing a high hail threat, that means there's going to be strong updrafts pulling, preventing that hail from falling at a small size, and that hail will just get larger and larger, and that is what, until the updraft is not strong enough to hold that weight, and then it will fall. So it seems like we'll be seeing strong updrafts, which is not only good for hail, but also tornadoes. So definitely something to watch out for large hail and tornadoes with this event tonight. And now let's take a look at our future precipitation model on the HRRR, or high resolution rapid refresh model. To be exact, you can see a line watching move through. It will rapid intensification of a line will occur here just to the west of Iowa, and in western Iowa there it will get very strong, possibly some embedded supercells within the line, and some embedded tornadoes as well. And these tornadoes would possibly be rain wrapped, which means you wouldn't be able to see them even if it is during the day, despite this being at night. So you're not really going to be seeing these tornadoes that much, or it's going to be very hard, most likely, if they are in fact rain wrapped. Maybe we could be seeing them ahead of the line, but it looks more likely to be embedded kind of in the line there. Is where we could be seeing those highest tornado probabilities there. And yeah, you can see this is going to be not only a hail threat and tornado threat like yesterday, but also a strong wind threat as well. Because when we have this linear storm setup here, when there is a line and a bow segment there, you could see those very strong winds moving into Iowa. And that's the main concern, I'd say. Really, all hazards is the main concern with this, but especially wind. Now let's take a look at 2-meter temperature on the HRRR. It looks like we are going to be seeing temperatures at high around 70s to 80s across much of these areas over here, which is definitely, that could definitely sustain some severe weather. Definitely, temperature, there's no problem for severe weather there, so that's definitely one ingredient which is plentiful for these severe storms. If you take a look at our atmospheric instability model here, you can see lots of atmospheric instability, or CAPE here. You can see 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram across much of the area, especially as it nears central, western Iowa, which looks like it's going to be the strongest right here. As it's moving to the eastern part of that moderate risk is where it's going to be strongest, and it looks like that's also where we have a lot of that instability, even nearing 4,000 joules per kilogram in some of these isolated areas here. So very high CAPE will definitely be supportive enough for damaging winds, tornadoes, and large hail, and just a strong linear storm setup could be either intensified or formed by this a lot of this instability here. So instability definitely is all go for severe thunderstorm development. As we take a look at wind shear, you can see lots of wind shear in the region, and that again is going to be very good for tornado development. Thunderstorms love wind shear, and since there's going to be a lot of wind shear with this event, tornado chances are going to be pretty high. So think of it now. Strong updrafts will support the development of tornadoes. We have wind shear to get that rotating movements going, because wind shear is winds at different altitudes moving in different directions. So visualize winds at like a certain level, maybe at the lower level going east, and just say they're going west at the higher level, for example. That would be wind shear. And when we see that kind of shearing motion, all those different levels and the winds going in different directions, that is wind shear, and that is good for getting rotation and getting those storms to start spinning. And once we have spinning storms, strong updrafts, enough instability, and a lot of good ingredients for these tornadoes, that's when we have that worst, the threat is higher for these tornadoes, and that's why the threat is actually even higher than yesterday, where we had a tornado emergency. Yesterday, I know I actually have to go live for that. That was a pretty bad tornado, which likely did some damage there. But yeah, that was in Arkansas. But yeah, today the threat is actually slightly higher. I'm not saying there's going to be a tornado emergency. For all we know, this event could bust, or it could be a pretty big event. We'll have to see. Although all I could say is all the ingredients are coming together perfectly for a possible severe weather / tornado outbreak, and we will have to be watching this closely, as we do have the potential for some tornadoes. Now, again, I'm not promising anything will happen. It's really just watch and see. That's the only way you can really know for sure what's happening. But there is definitely the potential for a big event, and that is why you should be prepared and staying tuned to local news and being weather aware as we go into tonight. Now let's take a look at our dew points. Dew points seems to be the lowest of all the ingredients today, where we are only having dew points in the 60s, maybe mid-60s, isolated upper 60s, but don't think that's not enough for severe weather. You honestly don't need a lot of dew point or high dew points for severe weather. Anything above 60, I'd say, is good enough for some severe storms, and we're seeing widespread areas above 60 on here, so I'd say we're most likely to see, we're most likely having enough, the dew points are high enough to support some severe storms, so not the ideal dew points for the thunderstorm development, but it's good enough for it, and the good news is that they're not ideal. We don't want to see these conditions being ideal for severe thunderstorm development. Now let's take a look at our tornado parameter. Now I usually don't show this, but I did notice the tornado parameter is showing a lot on the HRRR. Very high chances for tornadoes according to it. Honestly, I would take this with a grain of salt though. I wouldn't go off the tornado and supercell composites parameters or anything, but it just puts a picture that we do have that potential for some tornadoes in the area there. Same with supercell composite. We have the potential for some supercells, and supercells is the kind of thunderstorms that tornadoes form in. So, yeah, if we do have supercells, which we do definitely have the probability and chances for, then we do have the chance for tornadoes. And now let's take a look at an area that's right in the western side of this moderate risk area. It's one of the most populated cities, and this is Sioux City, Iowa. This is the weather forecast for there. So this afternoon and early evening, a tornado watch is in effect. Temperature 71 degrees is a high today, and it will be windy and sunny, and winds of 20 to 30 mile per hour with gusts up to 40 mile per hour are possible there, and the chance of rain is low during the day. Although as we go into tonight, we have the chance for severe thunderstorms and winds in the evening. Winds 20 to 30 mile per hour with gusts up to 40, and keep in mind that it's non-thunderstorm. And so the chance of rain is high. And yes, we do have the potential for severe thunderstorms tonight, and that could bring along damaging hail, strong winds, and the potential for a tornado in the region. And then I also would like to mention that we do have that tornado watch issued for that area. If I quickly take a look at that tornado watch, you can see if there's anything to really highlight. So the threat for tornadoes in this general area right here and Sioux City area is a moderate for the likelihood on this watch, where the probability for EF2 plus tornadoes is also a moderate. Severe wind, also moderate with 65 mile plus or 75 mile per hour plus wind is also moderate. And the probability for severe hail and 2-inch size hail, which is significant hail, is both high. So according to this watch and Sioux City, you are in the highest risk for hail and slightly low risk for wind and tornadoes, but still gotta stay weather aware. I know Fort Dodge is also going to be seeing, they actually might see the worst of this event. And yeah, this tornado watch does not cover those areas. A new tornado watch will likely be needed for those areas, and I will be posting that on my Twitter. If anyone does want to see that, feel free to go check that out. But if any watches do get issued, I will be, usually I will retweet them on my Twitter page. But yeah, we will likely see a slight upgrade to those hazards, at least in a new watch, in the areas to the east of this one, or southeast. So the next watch, which is a little bit more to the east, may have those slightly higher probabilities and may be seeing the worst of this event according to models and everything. And now, before I end this video, I would like to mention that we have another extreme risk for fire weather today. This is definitely not something we want to see, but yeah, we have an extreme risk for fire weather here. This is for portions of northern Texas, western Oklahoma, and western Kansas there. So yeah, we do have the potential for some wildfire potential in this areas here. And then we also have a critical risk surrounding that and an elevated risk around that. So I'd say the highest risk for fire weather is here. And it's not common that we see an extreme risk for fire weather. So definitely want to stay fire weather aware and stay tuned to local officials, because if a wildfire does occur, you are going to want to get out of the area and evacuate if they do tell you to do so. I'm not saying there's going to be a fire, but if there is ever a wildfire and your local officials call you or contact you to tell you to evacuate, please do so, because if they are telling you to evacuate, it's definitely for a reason, and there's likely a wildfire about to hit your town there. So always take that seriously and always evacuate. Alright, well, I'm now going to end this video. I hope everyone found it informative and enjoyed it. If you have any further comments, questions, or anything on this event, feel free to leave that in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you sometime later, as soon as I get the chance to. And yeah, my website will be thehurricanehq.org. My Twitter is @thehurricanehq. My Instagram is @thehurricanehq, and my YouTube channel is youtube.com/thehurricanehq, which you're watching now. So yeah, those are all my outlets. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if anyone is wondering if I'm going to be going live later, I do have to, I am going to be busy later, and I do have to study for school and everything. So unfortunately, I most likely won't be able to go live. Maybe if there is a tornado emergency or something, and I'm at my computer and I see it, I might go live, but I'm not guaranteeing there will be, and I'm not even guaranteeing I will be going live if there is one, but there is always potential of me going live. Like, I didn't think I was going to go live yesterday, but I needed to, so there's always a chance with these types of events, but there's no organized or long duration live stream plans for this one. Now, thanks again for watching. If you have any comments, questions, please feel free to leave them down below. And as always, have an amazing rest of your day.